produced by M. Night Shyamalan.
Throughout the film, there are a multitude of characters that are presented. The main antagonists, though, are three different personalities found within a man called Kevin who has DIDs. These personalities are named Patricia, Dennis, and Hedwig. These three have an idea that the Beast, another personality within Kevin, is more of a god to them and should be released and take his revenge and ultimately killing people who he sees as not being pure. But in contrast, there is another personality within Kevin that takes the light a lot, and that is Barry, who is more of the ringleader of all 24 personalities, but he is shunned by Dennis and Patricia so that they can do what they need to release the Beast.
Casey is the protagonist of the film. She's introduced as a recluse and is originally invited to Claire's birthday party out of pity. When the girls get taken by Kevin, she immediately becomes the leader of the group. We later find out that that's because of her past painful experiences, including sexual abuse from her uncle as well as the death of her father, that have made her stronger. Ultimately, the alter ego of Kevin, the Beast, spares her life because he believes that purity comes from past pain and trauma, and he noticed her wounds. Dr. Fletcher is a therapist for Kevin in all of his personalities. She believes that people with DID have a special ability that should be appreciated. She is an advocate for the DID community, and in the end, she ends up being killed by the Beast. Claire and Marcy are both girls that were taken alongside Casey. Claire views herself as a leader, but she's stubborn and impulsive and gets killed in the end by the Beast, along with Marcy, who is, on the contrary, is quiet and a follower.
The film takes part in a modern time and starts off at Claire's birthday party, where she invites Casey out of pity. But when Casey's ride does not show up, Claire's dad offers to drive her home. The girls, though, are taken quickly from the parking lot by Kevin's alter ego, Dennis, who then takes them to what is later found to be the underground corridors of the zoo, which is very dreary and dark. The girls start to be suspicious of what is actually going on when they notice racks full of clothes, along with different rooms that seem to belong to different genders and ages, but they only see the one man who took them, and they become very confused.
Dissociative identity disorder is when two or more distinct personalities have some sort of influence on a person's thoughts and behaviors. The personalities can have different mannerisms, emotions, and even physical changes. DID is typically developed when somebody has gone through a traumatic life experience or extreme stress, and the brain develops a way to protect itself by disassociating. DID isn't diagnosed in all cultures, and it is even stated in the movie that there is a lot of skepticism that comes along with the diagnosis. Many people don't believe that this is a real disorder because of its extreme rarity, and a lot of people will automatically believe that it is a social construct.
The movie does a very good job at portraying DID, and while it shows the fluidity through the personalities and how they are very conscious of each other, it also shows the disconnect between the hosts, such as Kevin within the film, between his identities and himself. So Kevin does not realize what has happened in the time that has passed, because the last thing he consciously remembers is being on a bus years before any of the events that are taking place in the movie actually happened. While there are a lot of side effects that also come with DID, there are a lot shown throughout the film, but there are some such as self-mutilation, eating disorder, and an obsessive use of alcohol and drugs that is not shown in the film through Kevin or any of his identities.
In trying to find a treatment for dissociative identity disorder, the process of trying to find an order throughout all of the different personalities is key. A lot of specialists believe that finding the source of the development of the personalities, such as the initial trauma, is important so that the person can find a way to work through the trauma in a healthier way. And finding a way of an understanding amongst all the personalities will help avoid conflict and other turmoil that could arise within the person.
In a broader perspective, there are a lot of things that the movie did right in portraying DID, such as the shift between characters and how different they can be through characteristics that are for each individual. The downside of the movie is that it gave a very scary situation in which DID was portrayed, giving some people who viewed the movie a very dark and scary view of the disorder. But at the same time, it overall was very positive in how it showed and educated people who did not know a lot about DID, the completely different separation between the identities and how broad this disability can be on the people and how it affects them in their everyday lives.